Hey guys and girls, all two of you, I know who you are. It sounded a bit creepy. Hello and welcome to the Road to ProRaw 9, episode number 8. I guess this means we've been doing it for 2 months now and we still haven't received anything for free. So if you know anyone that wants something placed in one of these episodes, we've got a few episodes left, special deal, send me a message, let's work something out, get it shown in front of hundreds and just 100 of YouTube viewers each week. That's the goal now. A few episodes left. Let's get something placed on this show. But moving on, thank you for watching and I appreciate the feedback after each episode as always. So let's jump straight into the Snapchat feedback from last week's episode. So first we have pre-workout pump up. And look at this one. Cute little kitty filter. And keeping on with the cute theme, we have Fairy Naught. But hey, as always, it starts to head to the gutter with look at these melons. They're not that big. And then yes, it continues with Who Farted. Which, judging off squats lately, it's probably not too far from the truth. And then next is You Wank with Two Hands. Guys, what have I said? This is disgusting. I've got parents that watch this, I've got other people don't need to see this, okay? I'm trying to get something for free on this episode and potential sponsors don't want to see this stuff, guys. Come on, let's clean up our acts. But I must end it with this one. Jug a nipple. Who is even viewing this that close to notice that stuff? Anyway, so let's move on to training for this week. As you may recall from last week, I had this guy called Dwayne Johnson harassing me to come and squat with him. So in order to just get it out of the way, I headed down to PTC headquarters down in lovely Carrum Downs in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne. So I think I had to get my passport stamped in order to get there from where I live. But we headed out there. Now this place is I guess if it was a racetrack or something, you'd call it the home of horsepower. It is one of the best powerlifting gyms in Melbourne. If you live in Melbourne and you've never trained there, get out there. It's a great gym. I mean, as all the PTC ones are, and there are also a bunch of other great powerlifting gyms around Melbourne. Please don't get me wrong. But I was out there tonight, squatting with Dwayne. Now, in all seriousness, when you get the chance to squat with someone who's at the absolute upper echelon of their game, whether it's squatting, whether it's benching, deadlifting, or any other sport, any other sort of hobby that you're into, when you get the chance to do it alongside one of the best, I mean, it's a great experience. It's something that you should definitely never pass up if it comes by. So this was the first week using a monolift as well, and I'm sure guys who have traditionally trained in racks, for example, and then switched to a monolift know that it takes a little bit of getting used to, getting the foot position right and things like that, but you know, it didn't take too long to get used to and I sort of found the groove reasonably well. I still think I'd need probably a couple more sessions just to really iron it out and feel completely comfortable with it. So we worked up to a couple of top singles. Now the first one was at 275 kilos.
I'm sure Benny does this just for highlights on his videos.
Put on the end of next week's video. Now this didn't feel too bad, but of course Dwayne had to do it as well in bare knees. Now the 275 felt good, so keeping on track with my program, I loaded 290 kilos on the bar. Now it was a bit of a struggle, as all of my sort of top singles have been lately, but you know, it wasn't a complete mess. It was a bit of a grind, but hey, we're getting towards the pointy end, so you know, it's not really going to be easy unless you've chosen something really easy to sort of aim for. So if we're not pushing ourselves, then you know, what's the point? So here was the 290 lift.
290 in sleeves. Oh, lucky you got that call from Dwayne. I think Ben forgot which direction he was headed. Wayne saved that.
Now, Dwayne decided to match what I was doing, which was fine, except he paused it for a double. And I mean, how effortless does that look? I probably couldn't even make 190 kilos look that easy. So, just an absolute squat monster. And it was great to train alongside him, have a bit of a chat in between sets, ask a few questions. Now, Gwaine has kindly accepted my request to come along and film him as he does his final heavy set in prep for ProRaw 9. And what I also try and do there is ask a few questions. So I've got a few in mind, but if anyone watching has something that they'd like me to ask Gwaine, let's be serious now, send them through. I'll compile them up, and then I'll try and ask some of the better ones on the night when I'm there with him. Probably after he's done his sets, because I don't really want to get in his face too much as he's heading towards a potential double at over 400 kilos. And this was also followed up with a set of 240 kilos for 5, and it felt a little bit hard. I don't know what it is. Perhaps it was just feeling a bit tired overall, a bit fatigued from some of the heavy sets, but still got it done, and then did another set of 220 for 5 after that. Now, just something I thought I would try that was a little bit interesting was comparing the two lifts side by side. So first up, you've got my 270 alongside Gwaine's 270. And then you've got my 290 alongside Gwaine's 290.
290 in sleeves.
Just a little bit of a difference there, I think. But, it just shows what a gap exists between a middle of the road lifter in the 125 kilo class, or any class really, versus someone that's at the absolute top of their game. So, it's something to aspire to. It's incredible, really. So I thank Gwaine and Marcos for being so accommodating with letting me come down and train, and also good to meet Pat as well, who's one of Gwaine's training partners, and have a laugh with the rest of the guys there. So thanks, guys. It was a great session, and I'll be back there soon. Up next, as always, is bench press. Now, this week I trained with a friend. I agreed to sort of catch up, and hadn't seen him for a little while, and we trained at a regular gym that was close by, just your regular bro gym, I guess. So I went out there, and I didn't really have much of a plan in mind. I thought I won't really do any of my main lifts because none of the proper equipment's there. But then I thought, if I do some of the other stuff, is it going to hamper my workout if I did a bit of accessory stuff on the day and then I bench the next day? Am I going to be fatigued from that? So I thought, you know what, I'll bench, I'll warm up, I'll see how it feels, and I'll just kind of go from there. And it felt pretty good. So I worked up to my top singles, with the first being 175 kilos. And this was followed by 185 kilos. And then finally the top set of 195 kilos, which is the most I've ever pressed in training so far. So it felt pretty good. Yes, they're not proper paused reps, as I explained last week. I've kind of always trained this way towards competitions and never had an issue on the day with pausing. And this was followed by a down set of 160 kilos for 5. this is where I ran into a little bit of trouble. As I was completing the 4th rep, I noticed my chest feel a little tight on the left-hand side. When I did the 5th rep, I felt a little bit of a short, sharp pain in there. So I still got the rep up and then racked it immediately. Now, obviously, my worst thought was that I'd torn a pec. My friend that I was training with is quite knowledgeable and ran me through a bunch of sort of stretches and movements and that to sort of determine whether the pec was torn. It didn't seem that way. There wasn't a lot of immediate pain or anything like that. It was just a bit of pain in the movement, and then things suddenly felt quite stiff in that. So afterwards I saw Sean Bostock, the massage extraordinaire down here in Melbourne, and I mean, if anyone knows about chest or pec injuries or benching sort of problems, then he's definitely the man. And he didn't really think that there was a tear in there. There may have been a little bit of tightness and a bit of a strain, but sort of not too much to worry about. So fingers crossed I can, once again, fingers crossed, I can sort of keep training. I might back it off a little bit next week, see how it goes, and he recommended to use a slingshot to take some of that strain off. So I'll do that, I'll see how it goes, and fingers crossed we can still get, I've got to stop saying that, I can get through to ProRaw relatively unscathed. Someone hilariously made up the hashtag pray for Ben's pec. I really hope that the prayers aren't needed, but hey, if you want to say one, I'm sure it won't go astray. And just remember, 1 like equals 1 prayer. Now, you might recall a few weeks back, I showed some squats by Luke Polly and Gwayne Johnson, just as I guess something different to show what some of the top guys were doing. Now, this week I found somebody else. It's neither of those two guys. His name is Josh Tate. Now, Josh is up in Queensland, and he's a bench press freak, I guess. His current best bench press is 252.5 kilos in a single bench only comp. He's totaled 872.5, and this was through 320, 230, and 322.5. And guess what? He competes in the 125 kilo class as well. Now, this week Josh did 2 sets of 2, so yes, 2 doubles with 230 kilos. Check it out. And as I said with the squats with Gwayne, I probably couldn't make 130 kilos look that easy. It's that's incredible. That's, if you looked at a textbook for powerlifting and looked up bench press, you'd certainly find that in there. Now, Marcos Markopoulos, the promoter for ProRaw, he's also said that Josh is on track to beat, or possibly beat, hopefully beat, the current Australian Raw bench press record in a 3-lift meet, which stands at 252.5 kilos by Adele Manuel, with around a 260 kilo bench. Now, I just want to interrupt quickly because 260 kilos sounds heavy. It is for a squat, a deadlift, and especially for a bench press. Now, what does it look like? I'm not a real powerlifter because I cannot count in powerlifting plates. I train at home. I've got good old 20s. Now, for those that train in a regular gym that may not have the calibrated plates, they may not have 25s, what does 260 kilos look like? I'll show you. 20 kilo plates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but wait, there's more. 6. 6 of these suckers. That's 260 kilos to give you a visual representation of what Josh is going to try and bench press, hopefully, on ProRaw 9 on the Sunday, March 19th. Fuck. Gotta unload this shit now. We wish Josh all the best with that. I thank him also for sending through the footage and he's also available for coaching and programming and things like that. So his details are here below, and you can also follow him on Instagram as well. So both of these will be up, and they're also in the comments. So check him out. Thanks, Josh. That was extremely impressive. Now, before I move on to deadlifts, one of the questions I received last week was somebody asked, can you give a little bit of a tour around the gym to sort of show what you're working with? So it was something I've been planning to do for a bit of time now. So I thought I'd just grab the camera, do a quick pan around, run through some of the equipment I've got. Under here we've got a front squat harness, which I used to use, but I bent it doing about 220 kilos once. There's a bunch of kettlebells there, so they start from 4 kilos, and these ones go up to about 32. There's a set of bumper plates, which are mostly used for clean and press exercises. A stack of different bars, safety squat bar, Swiss bar, some curl bars and stuff like that hiding in the corner there. And then I've got quite a few photos decorating the gym as well, so a lot of strongman stuff, bit of powerlifting, most of them signed, and also featuring some of the people I've been able to train with over the years when they've come out for events like the Arnold Classic Australia. I've got the cable machine here, which has a top and a bottom attachment, so it gives a good variety of exercises there. A few more images, being spotted by Ed Cohn, Benny Magnuson, trained with Derek Poundstone once as well. And then onto the main thing, so you can see the fat bar hiding behind the back there, but also got weights down both sides going from 1.25 kilos to 20 kilos. And then got some big Mama 50 kilo plates down here, which I was able to pick up a few years ago. But most importantly, got the full set of Texas bars, so squat, deadlift and power bar. All of these were bought secondhand through sort of word of mouth and being able to jump quickly onto things. So, they're probably one of my, favorite assets, I guess. The log there, the reverse hyper, which becomes a bit of a storage bench with some more bands and stuff like that. There's the rest of the kettlebells, so these ones go up to 80 kilos. And then I tried to find sort of the best bench I could find for home use, which is quite a sturdy, heavy one. But yeah, that sums up the gym. So, it's didn't all come together at once. Pretty much everything was bought secondhand through Gumtree, eBay, word of mouth. I haven't really paid full price for anything, but yeah, there's about 750 odd kilos of weight there, more than I'll ever lift, of course. But yeah, fully equipped and lets me do what I need to do when I can't make it to a regular gym. So I hope you enjoyed that quick gym tour. Thank you for that question, and as always, I welcome questions every week, so send them through and I'll do my best to answer them. Now, moving on to deadlifts. You might ask, Ben, what the hell are you doing? Well, this is a 2014 Harley Davidson Night Rod Special. Yes, it is mine. I bought it with the $10 an hour that I earn working as a bouncer on the weekends, because if you ask people that I kick out, apparently that's what I earn, so the pay's not too bad, I guess. I'll explain why I'm sitting on this in a moment. It joins a couple of other special guests in the garage, my R32 Skyline GTR, and also my 1972 Datsun 1200 Coupe with a 13B turbo in it. So perhaps in future episodes I might wheel one of those out each if there's enough interest, so let me know. Something different, I guess, to the plain old boring backdrop behind us that we're used to by now. Now, deadlifts this week went very well as always. So I trained back here in the gym and worked up to 3 heavy singles, the first one being 275 kilos. The second was 295 kilos. And this was followed by my third and final single of 310 kilos. Now, guess what also weighs 310 kilos? This motorcycle, with fuel and oil, ready to ride, roughly, maybe a kilo so under. So sometimes it's pretty cool to give a bit of a visual representation of what you're lifting. So I basically lifted this thing off the ground, and guess what? Harley's got a few more heavier models in the range, so maybe that means I get to add to the collection perhaps. A nice fat boy or something would be pretty cool, I think. Maybe another 40 odd kilos time, we'll see. So that wrapped up training for this week. Things moved pretty well. I hit the numbers that I needed to. I've got 2 more weeks of heavy singles to come. So providing that my sleep, I guess, is as good as it can be, with a lot of work on the weekends, diet, hydration, things like that. If they're all on track, then there should almost be no reason as to why I don't miss these couple of last heavy singles for each lift. And we'll see how it goes. So that's all we can do, I guess. So thank you for watching, as always. You can find me on Instagram at @TheWhiteJuggernaut, and I'll also include my Snapchat down there as well, so you can try and send those classy snaps through. Keep the questions coming, but until next week, guys, as always, let's get out there, let's get in the gym, let's get it done.